Hi, welcome to today's episode of Crump Talks. This is my radio DJ voice. I hope you're finding it pleasing. Clearly I'm joking, or maybe not so clearly. I don't know how well you know me. If you know me, you know I'm joking. Anyway, today I want to talk about a quote that I like. And for me, it's one of the ways that I don't want to say it's like a credo that I live my life by, but it is definitely something that I'm always aware of. It's by Jiddu Krishnamurti, who's a Indian dude. Actually has a really interesting story, kind of like a sage, and was almost, if you're familiar with the Golden Child movie, he was kind of like the Golden Child, right? He was this dude who was the dude. You had some literature actually claiming that he was the second coming of Christ, or third or fourth, or however many comings of Christ there have been. Anyway, I digress. Let me get to this quote, though. Also, as far as his Messiah status, bro rejected that whole thing and just went on to live a really incredible life. Was a philosopher, a guru, teacher, leader. He would reject all those titles, by the way, but that's for another video. Anyway, on this quote, he says, "I don't mind what happens. That is the essence of inner freedom. It is a timeless spiritual truth. Release attachments to outcomes. Deep inside yourself, you'll feel good no matter what." And the thing about this quote to me, we get so caught up in this judgment of good or bad, these events that happen in our life being good or bad, because we're so attached to this life. Like, I'm attached to this person, where everything that has to happen in life, in order for it to be good, has to be immediately beneficial and pleasing to this person, right? Like, I put this idea of good and bad. Whereas if I can just kind of let go of that attachment and just like, yo, let me enjoy this fucking ride. Like, this person, my person, I have a lot of days that are really fucking ridiculous. Today actually was one of those days. And that's not a complaint. It's just kind of a statement of fact, right? Like, I had a day that, we'll call it a character building day. Now, I can get so attached to everything and just be pissed off and all mad and puffed up. Or I could just let it be what it is. There's a story about a Chinese farmer that I think puts this into a good perspective, right? So this farmer, this was in feudal China. Like, in feudal China, obviously, maybe you're not familiar with feudalism, but these peasants, serfs, they would have a lord that they would kind of fight for, or not kind of fight for. That's kind of the thing. It's like, yo, you can work this land, but if we go to war, you're gonna have to fight for me. So anyway, there's a farmer in feudal China. One day, one of his horses runs off, and his neighbors are like, yo, man, that's kind of fucked up. Your horses are gone, right? It's unfortunate your horse left. Well, he's like, maybe, we'll see. Next day, his horse comes, and there are 6 other horses with him. So now he has 7 horses, where the day before he only had 1. So now he has seven horses, where the day before he didn't have any horses because the one he had ran off. His neighbor's like, "Oh, fam, that's good luck. Look at that. Look at what happened to you." He's like, "Yeah, I mean, that's cool." He's like, "We'll see." Next day, his son is riding one of the horses, one of the new wild horses. Well, this is a wild horse, not liking being ridden. Bucks, knocks his son off the horse. His horse breaks the son's leg. Now, his neighbors are back again. Ask me why these neighbors are here. I don't know. Nosy people. We all know them. His neighbor's like, "Oh, fam, your son just broke his leg. That is the worst fucking luck ever." He's like, "Ah, man, he learned something." He's like, "We'll see. We'll see what comes of it." Next day, like I'm telling you, this is feudal China. So the next day, a general comes to his door like, "Hey, man, We're getting ready to go to war. We're here to take your sons. He's like, well, I only have one son, and he just broke his leg yesterday. Well, I guess we can't take him to war. Neighbor comes over and like, oh, man, that's good luck. Look at what happened. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see. Point being, you see how this farmer stayed melancholy throughout the whole thing. Not even melancholy. I don't even want to use that word. But he just wasn't so attached to this idea of good or bad. His kid breaking his legs, not necessarily good or bad. Obviously, it hurt the fucking kid, right? Like, from that perspective, it's bad. But from a grander... Oop, pulled this shit out of my hair. But from a grander perspective, it is what it is. It's like, oh, it worked out because his son didn't have to go to the war, where he may very well have died, right? Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't get flustered when shit happens. Like I said, I had a day. I got caught up in I was pissed off about something. I ended up letting some people know I was pissed off about something. And when I let people know I'm pissed, like, people know I'm pissed. I'm human. As I look at what happened, I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm human. But I wish I would have meditated before I responded, because I could have seen, like, yo, grand scheme of things, what just got me off my square is not even worth being off my square. I don't need to be so attached to these outcomes and expectations that I have in my head, because shit doesn't go according to my expectations. I know this. You know this. I think we're old enough to know that there's so many things that we don't control. And all that we really do control is how we respond to the stimulus. And actually, man, let me end with a Viktor Frankl quote on the same thing. I have to look this up. Look it up on the computer because it'll be quicker. Viktor Frankl was just finished his book, or one of his books. It's actually free on Audible if you have Audible. A Man's Search for Meaning is called. The quote I was going to tell you. Between stimulus and response. That's what he says. It's a fucking brilliant quote. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose. He says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Yeah, man. I just want to make a quick one. I hope you guys like this one. I'm going to try to make more videos like this. Put my info in here. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Give me feedback, man. If there's stuff that you want to talk about that's on your mind, you need some input, you need some perspective, holler at me, man.